my YouTubers, and welcome to Deb Chanel 48's World channel. Today we're going to talk about Housewives of Potomac, Season 1, Episode 3, and it's titled, What a Little Whiskey Can Do. Well, the first clip you're showing where Giselle is checking out some kind of fast sports car, and it's white. She likes it, and she's trying to get her a new look and probably find a new man and start another whole new life, another chapter. I ain't mad at her. Ashley is being shown in the gym exercise, getting her workout on, and she's already pretty, very petite. So I mean, she just want to stay in shape, keep everything tight. Then you have the other scene going in with Robin exercising at home with her husband. Might well say her husband, even though she got divorced, but they still, living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, and they trying to say they're doing it for the kids. I don't know. I mean, I guess the guy's still careful. I'm still waiting out. I'm still waiting to see how this gonna either crash and burn, or they're gonna rekindle their fire and get married again. Who knows? I don't know. I'm still out to lunch with that one. Then it goes to another play with Charisse drinking with a friend. They chit chatting in some bar restaurant. Having a little kiki here moment. Then it goes on to Karen looking at paintings, or art painting, where she's probably wanting to redecorate a certain room, and she wants to, spend her husband money, and so they can have parties, and she can just show off everything. Because, like I said, pretty much she's an old gold digger, and I don't understand why she had these lines in her forehead off to the side. Well, when she's making her expression, just like I have these ones like in the middle of my forehead that I try not to make, but sometimes I'm in thought, or I'm concentrating on something real hard, and I tend to make that facial expression. But hers is just like, yeah, it's real disturbing. Like, I think she might need to go have some work done so it won't be showing like that. Cause I didn't like them veins bulging out like that. Um, then you had Katie talking with the magazine, trying that initially had her on their cover. I think it's Washington magazine. It's when she was some little crown queen for something, some title she won back in her heyday. But they were trying to reach out to her to see could they do another spread on her to see what had happened to her from 10 years ago, where she's at. Does she have a family? Is she married? What successes have she gotten herself, afforded herself to have, and just where she's been since those 10 years have passed. So it's like they're doing an updated version on her. Maybe they ain't got nothing else to talk about. Who knows? Um, and that's pretty much how the spiel came about when they were just showing the little clips on the TV. So let's just get into how things took place after that. So there's a scene where the magazine editor or chief of that particular magazine, Washington Post magazine or something like that, where they had did a photo spread on her 10 years ago. And I guess it was more, they invited her to come out to lunch or brunch, where they were trying to entertain her with an idea of letting them do, what do you call it, a spread on her, or editorial on her, where she's at now in her life stage. And she's telling them that her mother made her the director of the Ross Foundation, some type of charitable organization that help individuals out in the community. And she's a director, and she was telling him that she has 3 kids. She's recently divorced, but she is in a relationship that she's hoping to make into another marriage. But he was very impressed with her having a successful career, and one that's honorable, and that she does have children in her life. But he was kind of taken back that she wasn't with the father of her children, or she hadn't remarried and made like a stable, normal type of typical American family, how society views us as. And so he was kind of like, well, that's the only piece that doesn't seem to be fitting right now. What can we do to, help you along with it? Or, how can we make that look acceptable in society's eyes? Can we beef it up or can we spice it up in some way? She was like, well, she's, again, lying. And she's a pretty woman too, and I just don't understand why she feel like she has to marry somebody white or a Jewish descent to make her be solidified in society. I just don't understand. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, she goes on to tell the editor that she is dating someone. He's a Caucasian descent, and he's great with the kids, and they're looking to get married in the near future. But if you ask Andrew, which is her boyfriend, he would come up with another story or another scenario to tell you, because he's just not at that point right now. And I can feel him. I'm right there with him, because I'm like, I'm not gonna keep, being badgered by this woman that keeps constantly telling me, when we get married, we don't been in together, or if we're not gonna get married on this time frame, then I need to let you go and you need to go your own way, because I had these three babies, they need a father, da da da, da. Just too. She got too much baggage. She really do. I'm like, baby, if you want to do that, you need to go find that man that impregnated you with them three kids, and try to, get remarried to him or something. Other than that, fall all the way back. These are not his kids. He don't owe you anything. He don't owe them anything. I mean, hey, if you want to shack up with him, just do it, and be done with it. But, don't try to make the man or give the man an ultimatum. And then once he fulfills that ultimatum, then start treating you like real shit, not coming home, not being bothered with the family life. Then, what? You going to go get divorced again, because it didn't work out, when pretty much it's like I'm seeing you as a major beneficiary of the cause of maybe why your marriage failed the first time. But like I said, there's always two sides to a story. I'm only seeing the side that, Bravo is giving us within this show. So I'm like looking at you sideways, like, okay, did you not learn anything from your first marriage? What really went on? Did you play a part in running the man away with all your simple demands and this, that, and the other? Or what? I'm just looking at you. I'm looking at you from a far distance, because if I got that close to you, I probably want to slap you upside the head myself. So I'm just going to take that as it is. Let it marinate a little more and try to, peep you, on another episode, because you're just looking too thirsty, and you're just trying to get a man to think he's going to be your savior for whatever you're wanting him for, the security or the money part of taking care of everything financially. I mean, I'm just not understanding why you're just rushing to remarry when all your babies are so small. I just don't spend too much time on you already, so we just gonna move on. We go to a scene where Karen and Giselle meet up with each other, because Karen is feeling some kind of way that she didn't handle herself appropriately within the argument that they had over at Sharice's house. So she invited her to a little coffee shop where they can get some smoothies or some coffee, or whatever. But it was just there for them to just come together, meet, hash some things out, and move on. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. They both apologized to each other, gave each other hugs, and just squashed it and said, okay, maybe Karen getting on her little fickle ways again, trying to be mother hen, trying to get into adult conversation that had nothing to do with her. Instead of letting them work it out amongst themselves, she's gonna try to patch things up, when that's not good. It's not, because they both strong-headed women, and they need to come to their own conclusions of what they're gonna do with their relationship and how they're gonna mix it back into your little circle. But she's a busybody, she's nosy, and she just want all the accolades to herself that she saved her circle of friends and da 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 da, so they can continue worshiping her. But child, please. Anyway, we go on to a scene where Andrew, Michael, Ashley, and Katie come together. Where Katie and Michael, yeah, right. No, Katie and Andrew are already together, having a little light dinner, drinks, whatever. And then Ashley comes up with her husband, older husband, I should say, almost in a grade type husband. But see, what's her name? What's her name, Johnson? Celine Dion can do it. With her husband because he was an old something too. But if they can see some love in these fellas, if it is true love, you know, love has no boundaries, and I guess you can't fall in with somebody much younger than you, as well as somebody that's older than you. Whatever. But whatever floats they boat. Whatever tea in China they trying to drink. Oh, we know how the old saying go. But anyway, they come to the same restaurant. They recognize each other. They kiki, they hug. They, ask can they sit with them in a sense. They invite them. It's one big party. They talking. Katie gets to, running her mouth trying to figure out Ashley's business or how they got together, how old, are their age differences, how did she trap him into getting married, for me to put it that way, because pretty much what it was. And how long did it take them to be engaged? Now, just all these little funny questions so she can pretty much throw them back in Andrew's face. But Andrew wasn't having that. He knew where exactly she was going with these questions, and he was like pumping brakes, like, "Look, can you just sit still? Sit still on that, cause I'm tired of hearing it. Before you know it, I'm gonna be gone out. You think I'm going to the bathroom? I'm gonna be gone, like skirt." Burnt rubber on your behind. But anyway, he tried to play nice and everything. But like I said, I think he's just either been hurt before and he just don't want to get married because he don't want to feel that hurt feeling anymore. Or maybe he wants to get married at a later time. And he said he's 43, so and he likes the title that he's been given as an eligible bachelor. He's still toying around with that idea, and he ain't trying to let it go on no facet, on no phase or anything. He just like it. And when you're dealing with a man like that, you kind of just like back off for a while, kind of let him miss you. But y'all cohabitating together, and he's getting the whole cow. So I'm like, it is what it is. You either gonna live with it or you're gonna throw him out. It's one or the other. It's just plain as night and day. It's just a choice. Consequences come from those choices. But I just wouldn't have anybody up over my children and being around them all day long, and being there in the morning when they wake up, being there at night when they go to sleep, and they probably calling the man daddy. I don't know. But just a piss poor representation you given as a mother to have him even over your children if you don't really understand where he's going with the relationship, where you have to question it and bother him all the time. That's just too much. It's not a good look. You need to change. You need to change venues, kind of change venues. Kick him out. And then see if he want to come back after a month or so. See what he been missing. And if he don't come back, then honey, he want to be bothered with you. He want to be bothered with you. Plain and simple. Anyway, moving on. We go to the scene where Robin and her husband are discussing. She's doing a little folding, laundry or whatever. I don't even understand that situation. I'm put her in the corner too because I don't understand. I don't want her to come out fighting doing nothing. I just want her to stay in the corner because in her confessionals or when she was having a scene with her mother when they were trying to take her wedding dress back, she was trying to say that her parents made them get married. They were fine how they was. I guess they were just dating and having sex and all this kind of stuff and whatever. And they weren't really thinking about building a family. But from what she expresses on one scene, that her dad was saying, okay, what are y'all gonna do? Are y'all gonna get married or what? Or is he gonna go his separate? Cause this is ridiculous. Y'all need to be doing something. So she's pretty much trying to blame her father into making her get married. I think at the age of 26. I think she said. not sure. But I'm like, nobody can really make you get married. That's, you know, a choice. I don't think you were pregnant at the time. So it was more so, okay, you know, you kind of like the idea too, because it seems like on your wedding day, y'all were very happy and da 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 da. Even though your husband said that, did y'all consummate y'all marriage, having sex? Well, then again, y'all had sex anyway, so it was already consummated in sin, but it was consummated. But he was saying about you just went on to sleep when y'all got back to y'all hotel or something. I'm like, okay. And, you know, she even joked about it because she was like, oh, well, that's probably why we divorced now. So I don't understand with that. I don't even understand y'all living arrangement because y'all were talking about he's not bringing in any income, no money. So you're pretty much paying for everything through your career. And I'm still trying to figure out what that is. You know, you selling houses because at one time you saying that market had dried up. So I'm kind of not sure what either one of you are doing. And he's having this opportunity where he had to interview for a particular job as a coach. Since he don't want to play ball no more, he can't play ball no more. I don't know what that was about. Wasn't too much clarification given, or I missed out on it. But he's really wanting to take the job, and he's like 99.9% knowing he's going to take the job. And he was asked by whoever's trying to hire him at the university to come and coach at, was he bringing his family with him. And of course, I don't know why he couldn't speak for you, because he knows you still have feelings for him, and y'all cohabitating in a house, even though you both are divorced, but you're sleeping in the same bed. I mean, who do that? Not nobody I know. So maybe it's some Hollywood, California type cohabitat. Now I don't know, because most things, if I even had to think about it, if it had to affect me or maybe one of my family members, you know, that person, since y'all are divorced, y'all would be sleeping in two bedrooms, two separate beds, two separate everything in the house, except y'all be sharing like a main family room time or kitchen area, some of that nature, car garage area. Other than that, we definitely wouldn't be sleeping together in the same bed, in the same room. I mean, I don't know, I'm 48 years old, but I'm like, I don't think I'm that far behind time to just say both of y'all crazy. Both of y'all are crazy bed bugs. Y'all need to get it together or separate for good, because y'all already divorced. But I guess y'all can't. But hell, he ain't bringing in no money, so you pretty much um, bringing in all the money. So I don't know what you should do. I mean, it don't seem like you really have a part on this show, because you just disturbing. You straddle the fence. You're on one side, then you're trying to bring down another, one of the co-casts. Always trying to jump on Katie, like she don't know what she doing, but you don't know what you doing either. You know, pretty much y'all both in the same boat. She's single by choice, and she's trying to hook another man. You single, but you divorced your husband, but yet y'all still living together. So I'm like, y'all pretty much in the same boat. Messed up. The boat got some leaks in it. Yes, you get catch my drill. But anyway, moving on from you. Because my whole take on you, you just need to go on and follow him, because you still love him. Evidently, he still loves you. Y'all need to null and void that divorce decree, get back married, and just go on and live your life. And go to therapy the rest of your life if you have to. Because, like I said, I don't really know, you know, was he cheating? Was you not giving him enough time? Was he not giving you, I don't know. But y'all should have really worked that out. Then however y'all doing it, because y'all just going to make the kids be confused as well, as y'all keep going on along with this silliness. Such foolishness. Okay, then we move on to Karen's daughter is getting ready for the prom. Her mom comes in there. I'm like, do you not let your daughter come in your bathroom for any reason? I'm not understanding that. So maybe she has her own little bathroom. It's not as quite as big as her mother's, where she can have somebody in there actually doing her makeup, doing her hair, and she can sit in one of those like a vanity table or something. That's what I'm catching. They didn't really show her room. Maybe her room is smaller than what we think. Who knows, honey? But anyway, she's in her mother's area where she's getting her hair done by a stylist, and Her makeup is already done. She's a very pretty little young adult. Her senior prom she's going to, dressed in a pretty red dress. I don't know why she wore red, but then again, each his own. But her mom is kind of reminiscing. In her mind, she might be having some playback memory uh, points going through, but they didn't really show us that. I didn't really want care for them to show us either. But I guess she was thinking about her little girl from the time she brought her home from the hospital through the first time she tried to walk and eat. First day going to, pre-K or preschool. And just, having reminiscent moments like we all do as mothers. Because, I still see my child as, my little girl, even though she's really grown and, trying to live her own life and find out her own way through this world. But, I can see her doing that. But then she got a little cocky. She just said she ain't going nowhere. I'm like, what do you mean you ain't going nowhere? No, you not going to the prom. No, you're not. But she was basically like, she gonna always be in her child life, always calling her child shots and everything. And the dad, he just gonna foot the bill for everything because she treat him like shit too. She going around him once the girl still trying to get ready. She came downstairs because her date, who is happened to be Caucasian, of persuasion, is her boyfriend, and he's escorting her to the prom. And evidently, mom and dad approves of her relationship with him and all that kind of stuff. And he came by to pick her up, and I thought the guy's supposed to bring the corsages, but she had the she as being Karen, the mother of Raven. She had the corsage, the bow tee for the guy and her daughter. I'm like, wait a minute now. I ain't that old, but I thought the guy's supposed to get all of that. And maybe, of course, she may get his boot in there, but I don't know. I don't know how they do things, in Potomac, you know, whatever. But anyway, then Karen gets to being bossy, trying to tell the father of Raven, her husband. I can't even remember his name, but anyway, I just call him Fetcher Man. Cause he fetch everything for a child. He look like he got one foot in the grave. Really both feet in the grave because he don't move that fast. And then it seemed like when she call him on their little they little speaker system when she dials over the telephone, I guess it goes around the house. And he was like, he didn't even want to pick up that mess. And she just kept, irritating him with the calling and talking where he was like, okay, I'm coming, babe, I'm coming. And I'm like, oh Lord, if he shoot foots in there trying to find her, I'm just gonna be laughing my behind off. So I'm like, I don't know where he got this witch from. I don't know where he got this witch from. But anyway, she's trying to tell him how to take the picture of the couple, her daughter and her boyfriend. And he's trying to, no, I want to try to do it this way. He said, you need to just do it this way so we can go and get this taken care of because you just messing up stuff. And he's like, no, no. I'm like, baby, if he can run a IT company and making billions of dollars because you call him the black um, Bill Gates, then sit your ass down. Let this man do something, that you don't have to have a party of trying to tell him what to do. But it seems like you got your finger wrapped around him and you control him, and he's just glad to have you, honey. So do what you feel, honey. Do what you feel. But okay, then we move to a scene where Robin and her mom goes to sell her wedding dress. And I'm just looking at that dress because it seemed like one I had wore to the prom. Or, I had scouted it out. I didn't pick that particular dress, but I have a similar dress to that. And I was going to my senior prom with that dress. So I'm like, what? That dress couldn't have cost that much money. And if it did, she shouldn't have paid that much money for it because it looked a little cheap. But anyway, that's just me. But I think I paid what $200 for my dress, and it was similar. So maybe it was a designer dress, Versace or Vera Wang or who knows. But that's all she paid for was the name because it was a simple white dress. I mean, she was beautiful when they got married and he was handsome. Fairy tale type wedding looked like they had, but it was nothing really special or very unique about that dress. So I don't understand. But anyway, she went to I call it pawning it because she wasn't trying to I don't think she really wanted to sell it, but I think she really need the money. But I don't know how much she was getting for it because the lady had told her that since she wore it and everything, it was going to be 40% taken off. So, or whatever she purchased the dress for, because she had all the receipts to it. So, I'm pretty sure she went to some high end boutique. They ripped her off, and you know what it is, you know. But she was there to sell it, and she was telling her mom, you know, about she wished she could have worked out and this, that, and the other. But I mean, again, the man just don't want to be bothered. I really don't know who signed for divorce because they didn't really say who went and actually petitioned for the divorce. So it's just like it was a mutual agreed upon thing that they both agreed on doing. So and then it just happened that way. So they end up selling the dress. They didn't kind of tell us, you know, what the price or the amount she got for the dress, which I guess is not none of our business. But I'm like, hell, since she going to take it in the shop, she could have told us. But you know, teach his own. Then we go into a session where it's Ashley, Katie, Karen, and Cherise. They go shopping. Or the first two people that we see in the store is Karen and Cherise, and they just going around the different uh, little boutique shop. It seems like it was, and they were, you know, Karen just out of the blue just told her, well, you know, I met with Giselle and we squashed our beef and we fine, but I told her she needed apologize to you, or y'all need to work out some apology amongst each other and get our circle of friendship, or, you know, back on target or whatever. And, you know, Sharice had this stank attitude, like, I ain't finna go through all that. She gonna have to come to me, and, you know, Giselle basically saying the same thing, but I don't know, Giselle had already apologized. She ain't apologizing no more. She ain't trying, that road is closed. Closed up. And so anyway, then Katie comes along with Ashley. I don't know if all four meant to meet up with each other, but anyway, they ended up using Ashley and Katie as models because she was in there trying to buy her. When I'm saying she, Karen was in there trying to buy her daughter some summer wear and some summer wear she can take with her to school because she was leaving that particular year as well, going off to college. So she wanted to make sure she had some summer outfits and some summer swimsuits, and she couldn't try her stuff on because, you know, she don't have that body and, you know, whatnot. And then she just wanted to have like a walking billboard, you know, to see in her, imagine in her mind that, you know, that was her daughter wearing the outfit, and she kind of wanted to like surprise her. So I guess it was all of it was a surprise. She's just gonna bring home several bags and say, you know, happy summer or whatever. Who knows what she does? She don't have to have a reason to do anything. So anyway, she convinced those two ladies to model for her so she can pick up the right outfit or pick the right outfits she wanted for her daughter, because they pretty much was like the same uh, built frame of her daughter, you know. So they just used them. They got the outfits they wanted, and it was pretty much it for that scene. And that was it for that. Okay, and then we goes to just having her look. Okay, and then we go to a scene where they're getting ready for Ashley's whiskey tasting event that she's holding at some knockoff bar, or I don't know. It wasn't anything special or had a lot of ambiance to it. The environment that they were going to have this whiskey wine tasting event that Ashley had put together, because I guess she's starting her own restaurant and she wanted to make sure she got the right liquor or whiskey to serve to her guests. So she was doing like a little tasting thing. So she invited the girls out, the whole circle of friends, and Giselle was using her daughters to tell her what should she wear to the event because she wasn't quite sure, and I guess she don't use a stylist that much. So her girls was giving her, you know, different little um, outfits to wear, and she was just laughing at them like, y'all ain't serious. I ain't finna wear nothing y'all, trying to put out on my bed to wear. But it was a cute little scene. Again, she loves her daughters and she tries to incorporate them in pretty much all her scenes, which I think is nice and appropriate. Then we go on to Katie Andrew goes to some type of function that they're actually, let's see. She's going to some type of function where she's trying to raise money for her mother's foundation, the Ross Foundation, and they're hosting like a casino night, and they are actually catering to some of his friends and some other influential people of Potomac, and it's some kind of party that they're having, and they're basically going in and pitching their ideal of soliciting individuals or single couples to come out to their event that they're hosting, um, a charity event for the Ross Foundation to raise money for some needy charity that they've has designated as the one that they want to support that particular year. So her who she wants to be her fiance, but really is her pretty much bed partner. He did his share of getting his friends that he plays golf with a lot and some other organizations that he's a party of. They've committed certain funding to go to her charity. So now it's her part to do her thing in soliciting guests for their casino night. And it seems to be turning out real well. She get a lot of people to support her. She even got some newscasters, that particular community or town, to kind of give her some media coverage of that particular event um, approaching. And, she was happy to have gotten those resources taken care of. But, on their way there, she was like, well, if we get introduced or we get into a situation, how should I present you as who you are to me? Again, there she go, stabbing down a dark alley. Because he like, why you just don't let things happen? What's gonna be is gonna be. I'm grown. I'm a grown enough man to tell you if I want you as my wife. I know how to get down on one knee. This, that, and other. We don't need to keep beating a dead horse because you really freaking getting on my nerves. I'm about to have several drinks to forget we even had this conversation. But anyway, he pacifies her and he goes in, they meet and greet with everybody, and then it does come up with a scenario, one that she found perfectly. A couple that was going around, listening to their pitch, and she was just admiring the latest ring, and she said, "Oh, that's the kind of ring I want." And she's looking at him, and the couple asked were they married, and this, that, and the other. And then she looks at him like she's waiting for him to say something, and then he, graciously say, "No, not yet. They're not married." And he kind of tried to get off the subject, and the couple that he was talking to kind of seemed like they may have thought they may have offended him when they were saying, well, questioning, were they married or not, and it kind of seemed like it put him on the spot because again he didn't want to really answer it. So it's just like beating a dead horse again. I wish she'd give it up because I'm sick of her myself. I'm ready to pull my shoe off and hit her upside the head or run from her and never come back. But he introduced them like as as friends. He said if anything comes up, introduce me as your quality significant other. What the hell that is, I don't know. I'm thinking bed partner still. Friends with benefits, pretty much. But anyway, she's stupid. She crazy. She pimping herself out and her children. Um, and then it moves on to they go to the wine tasting again. They go back to that scene, and Karen is already, on her high horse, being uppity, as we both know, talking about, she's a champagne type woman. She ain't no brown liquor type person. And everybody knows she was born and raised on a farm. She probably was dipping into some moonshine. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna go there. And that's white lightning right there. So she probably right. She didn't deal with brown stuff, but she was, dipping in that moonshine type mess. So to each his own. Karen crazy too. All of them continue to throw shade at each other, and um, Katie get not Katie, but what name? Ashley gets out and completely tells Giselle that she was hurt because she called her a thought. And then Giselle was telling, no, I didn't call you a thought, just telling your actions were whorish because you was sitting up there humping on somebody that you just met. You didn't know them from Ed from Easter, you know. And she was like, you know, well, yeah, I did do that, and I guess that wasn't appropriate. So she apologized to her, and you know, everything, all the love, everybody was feeling all the love. Maybe it was just a whiskey talking to their ass because they sure were taking shot after shot after shot. But then, you know, her and, you know, she apologized to her. She apologized to her, meaning Ashley and Giselle. So then Sharice kind of felt some kind of way, like, well, dog, if this 26-year-old lady can apologize and what we got to fussing about me and Giselle, there wasn't all of that. They both were just in their asses. So, well, really, just what's her name? Sharice was in her ass. Because Giselle already was on her throne. She didn't care. She was keeping it real all day long. But anyway, in the end of that particular episode, scene, Sharice got up from the table, went around to the other side of the table, and motioned for Giselle to stand up. She gave her a hug. It was like a touchy-feely moment. Tears could have went out. Harps could have been playing. Heavens opened up. You know, whatever. You know, because it was silly. Like I said, I think the whiskey made them all kind of warm and happy inside. It was like how my daughter said, a kumbaya moment. And everybody, you know, and then what name? Karen, the mother hen, was like, "Oh, everything has finally come to pass. Everybody's back. I'm the queen bee. I got my servants, you know, under me. Everybody's fine. Oh, whatever." Anyway, it was pretty much a good show. Everybody kind of, you know, Katie wasn't at that event because she was trying to do her foundation thing where her mother had put her over, so she was handling business with her boyfriend. And you know they was promoting the casino night in DC that they was trying to raise money for her mother's charity, the Ross Foundation. And that was pretty much it. And we except for the scene where towards the end they were in bed together, or they had got settled down and they just laid on the bed and they was talking, and Katie and Andrew was having a moment, and Katie was getting upset because she just really felt like, you know, a hoe. Pretty much, she's a hoe. Because he was still like, you know, if you would have just hushed 6 months ago, we could have been married. No, we could have been engaged. We could have been married by now. She looking at him like, did he have too many drinks? Because he ain't said nothing about all that. But basically, like, what he was saying was, you know, you done been talking about this and talking about this, getting on my goddamn nerves. I don't want to talk about this no more. If I want to marry, I want to marry. If I don't want to marry, I don't want to marry. Just leave me alone about it. So she told him basically he gonna have to have some therapy because she ain't gonna be putting up with this kind of mess, and he's gonna have to make a decision. But she was looking like all mad and stiff. Like, I'm like, you should have had this madness going on with your real husband. Can't make no man marry you. You got 3 kids, and you girl, please sit down somewhere. She got on my nerve. Be like Giselle, just raise your kids and keep it moving. But it seems like she's dependent on having a man in her life, period, and she wants to be the ruler, and Andrew not feeling it. I mean, I really hope that they get it together, but I just don't really feel it. If you make a man try to do something he really don't want to do, he's gonna make your life hell for however long y'all together, and you ain't gonna be wanting to be married. So just sit your ass down somewhere. Sit down and take care of your kids. Do your foundation. Your mother put you as director. Focus on that. Focus on that. And tell him to get another place to stay for a while. And if he miss you, then he's the right one. He gonna come back and gonna do the right thing. But if you still there, acting a fool, trying to tell him what to do, trying to throw hints at him here and there, yeah. Well, that's all I have for this episode. Um, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Have a great night. Bye bye.